Let's make it obvious. Reality versus fantasy.
Alright, cool. I have been meaning to get this off of my chest for a while, actually. The reality is humans suck, and the fantasy is shooting them all into space. Especially those particularly stupid ones who think nonsense like goddamn real because book, you can cure cancer with insert random herb here, or the worst ones of all, those that think space itself is fake. I mean seriously, that'd show 'em, wouldn't it? Maybe I would have let you live down here with me and all the whiskey, but you had to go and say some stupid nonsense, so now you're gonna have to go and live in that infinite nothing you don't believe in. You played yourself.
This is the space shuttle and it's pure fantasy.
Yeah, I know, right? I fantasize about pulling up to the stoplights in one of those babies every single day, and then handing over a jar of grey poupon to a stranger, then rocketing off into the sunset. Unfortunately, when I asked to borrow one of those things, they said things like, "How did you get in here?" and "Protect the president from this armoured lunatic." I thought this was America, buddy. Land of the free. To borrow your shit.
Top speed supposedly 17,500 miles an hour. Top temperature 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Alright, fine, I'll address the... Is it an elephant in the room? Because the thing about elephants is they tend to be pretty smart. This is more of an idiot in the room. Got him? Anyway, listen to that incredulity. 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit? Oh my god. But that's like not even that high. Aside from the fact that you're using freedom units, which make it sound way higher than it actually is, when 1,648 C, that sounds a little less impressive, doesn't it? And it's like half the melting point of tungsten, so the idea that it's some absurdly high number just shows how ignorant you are. I mean, we have made hotter things on Earth. In fact, they did an experiment at the old Large Hadron Collider guys that reached 9.9 trillion degrees briefly. I mean, my god, that's almost as hot as I am.
Bear that in mind.
But that's not where I keep my bears. There's not enough space in there for both my massive intellect and even a single bear, which is surprising considering how big my actual head is. But look, see that tiny dot there behind the immensely thick skull? Yeah, I don't think you could fit even a teddy bear in there. Puh.
Here's the SR-71. This is reality.
Okay, so the space shuttle isn't real because a different class of vehicle exists. And let me guess, has completely different specification and does different things. Therefore it's really, really realer. I'll also bet he likes it because it looks cool. And as all people with an intellect of a 5-year-old know, cool things are infinitely more real than less cool things. That's why my pet dragon Kevin is the most real thing ever. He's made of whiskey and pizza.
Top speed 2,200 miles an hour. Top temperature 900 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh my god, the thing that is designed to fly at high speeds within Earth's atmosphere is not exactly the same as the thing that does a completely fucking different thing? Well, that proves it. Space am fake, Earth am flat, and my penis am the size of a double-decker bus. I mean, look, if we're just going to start making things up due to random statistics of things in the world, I'm going to go for it.
17,500 miles an hour. 2,200 miles an hour. Ridiculous, isn't it?
What? You think just saying that proves anything? This thing does not have the same job as that one. That aircraft only has one real task: to go real quick, real fast, and maybe a bit of exploding things while they're at it. But the space shuttle needs to get into space, take things there, do experiments with the stuff it took there, maybe drop some other stuff off at the International Space Station. And they've launched satellites, repaired other space vehicles like the Hubble Space Telescope, and I'm sure there's a lot more. It's basically the space white van of the space white van man. You know, the guy who does a bit of everything. And then you're wondering why his vehicle has better insulation and doesn't travel as fast as a Formula 1 race car.
3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. 900 degrees Fahrenheit.
Remind me again, when did that thing ever have to re-enter the atmosphere? Oh, that's right, it didn't. Because again, that's not what it's for. So they don't build it out of the materials that could withstand that. Seriously, my dude, your argument from incredulity is not convincing anyone but the most idiotic of people. But since your audience is flat earthers, I guess that's not exactly surprising.
One is clearly reality and has been verified many times. The other is just pure fantasy.
One is a collection of photos of real vehicles that reel and have different jobs. The other is your brain, a fantastical construct invented by wizards in order to animate a hunk of weaponized dumbass and then send it out to say stupid things on the internet in order to make the world a much, much sillier place. Yes, I do agree that is exactly what's going on here.
This is just a plane that comes into land.
Hey, this thing is fake. Also, it's actually real for some reason. What is wrong with you? You can't have it both ways, you know. I mean, seriously, this is just so much cope because you can't refute the fact that they do exist. So instead, you make something up about them. Well, okay, show me some footage of one taking off. I mean, it's theoretically possible. It could technically do that because it is designed aerodynamic enough to do a descent. So how do they get it into the air? Do some of that sleuthing. You guys are so much smarter than everyone else. I'm sure you could figure it out. And if you don't, then maybe, just maybe, admit that you might be wrong about something for once in your fucking lives.
It's not any spacecraft coming from an orbit around a ball.
Now you say that, but wait, I have a retort. Yes, it fucking is. We can play this game all day, but the big difference is I have the weight of science behind me and the overwhelming preponderance of evidence and countless technologies that function due to the knowledge we have, and you can't record a video without your fucking phone and the constant start-stopping because you don't know how to make videos in a non-stupid way. And your mates are very similar. The incompetence on constant display makes it quite unsurprising that when you're asked to apply your sciencing to an actual problem in the world, you always seem to come up short. Science produces. Flat Earth stagnates and rots. Mostly people's brains.
Its design looks more like a Lego aeroplane than some badass spacecraft.
Oh my god, I was joking about the argument from It Cool, but it's returned. You would think that if they were going to fake it, they would do whatever the hell they wanted. I mean, you stick on a couple of Go Faster stripes, a flame down the side, some big old rims, a massive spoiler, and a bit of neons, and you know what? I think he might be onto something. That does look significantly more realistic. Go figure.
And then when you compare it to reality, and of course the speeds and the temperatures, like I said, it looks like a Lego fucking aeroplane rather than some badass spacecraft.
Why do you think they did that? Do you think they designed it to look as cool as possible? Or do you think they designed it to work? Now, don't get me wrong. They designed the black one to do its job and it still does look pretty cool. But if a giant brick had somehow been the more aerodynamic design, you sure as shit know that that's the one they would have used. But the space camper van look is what they used for the shuttle because that's what it fucking is. Also, in space, there's a lot less air resistance, so having some ultra sleek looking bollocks would in fact make it look more fake and not less so. My goodness, it's almost like you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, do you?
And like I say, it's just a prop. An aeroplane that comes in and lands
after it's been in space. Because that's how they get you with the hoax. What they do is they strap great big rockets to it, fire it into space, they go and they do all the things that they say they're going to do, and then they re-enter Earth's atmosphere. It's the perfect scam. I mean, faking it would be far too expensive. It's the same reason why they faked the moon landing, but on location, because of budgetary constraints.
Now, whenever the space shuttle landed, it was always accompanied by jets.
I'm not sure what your extremely stupid reason they did do that idea is going to be, but I did this thing that you might never have thought to try and asked, why do they do that? I know it's a wild idea. Anyway, the jets they tend to have with the shuttle while landing are known as chasecraft. They are there to be an extra set of eyes to help the shuttle pilot land. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but the shuttle is big and unwieldy. It's again a space van, and parking a van is obviously basically impossible according to these pictures. So clearly some help is going to be required when you're doing a 3-point parking from fucking space.
Supposed chase planes to help it land because the guys in the space shuttles were wearing space suits.
Oh, so you do know what they are for? Well then, I can only assume that's wrong because of reasons. Also, I'm sure it's not just the suits. Again, look at that thing. It's picking massive. I would not want to have to land that thing all on my own, because I would definitely smash it into the nearest orphanage. Not by accident, mind, but if I'm going to die, I'm taking those smug little orphan bastards down with me.
So the chase plane was helping the guys land. Also, that's the official explanation for the chase planes.
Or so they say. You can stick that on the end of literally any explanation for anything ever. Whiskey is made from 3 things: grain, water and yeast. Or so they say. Whiskey is actually made from happiness, the fermented tears of unicorns, and is then distilled down to its golden form, which can cure all known diseases. If only humans could drink enough of it, which they obviously can't because I already drank it.
And that would be fine if it wasn't for the U-2 spy plane, as we're about to see.
Oh my, a different vehicle with a different purpose is going to debunk a thing that has a different job. Again, what a shonk that you would do such a thing. Did you just sit there all day looking up various aircrafts and then go, ha, the shuttle doesn't do that thing, therefore it's fake? How very big brain of you.
Now, as we know, the pilots of the U-2 spy plane wear spacesuits reaching high altitude.
Okay, do they? Cool. I did not know that, but so what? Again, I don't think it's just the spacesuits that make the landing harder. There's gonna be other things involved. Also, if you are about to say, aha, they don't use chase craft, therefore me am smart, I do hope you are going to then point out that they use chase cars, which serve much the same purpose, although differently, because it'll be hilarious if you forget that little point.
And when they land, because they're wearing the spacesuits, same as the shuttle guys, they've got poor visibility. But they use a chase car.
Right, okay, cool. You did look that up too. Gotta say, you have better research skill than your average flirt. Of course, that begs the question, why is some of the info you look up true, and then why is some of it false? How do you know the difference without using your super incredulity? Also, did you ever think to ask maybe why they do the chase craft for one and the cars for the other, instead of just assuming it's because fake though? I mean, if anything, if there is no reason for the space shuttle guys to use the planes instead of the car, just imagine the money that they would save, that they could spend on, I don't know, paying us shills better? Right now, they don't pay me anything at all. It's a bit of an outrage to learn that they've just been wasting it on this stupid fanfare.
Which, of course, as you can see, is below the plane and has a brilliant view and can talk the pilot down easily.
That's great and all, but did you ever stop to consider where those two things are coming from? Yes, one of them is coming from high in the stratosphere, but one of them is coming from out of fucking space. Do you not think that there might be a teensy difference in their whole landing deal? And considering that space shuttles have an absolutely enormous runway to land on, maybe a chase car isn't going to be good enough. Not to forget that while the Lockheed U2 costs a cool 120 million, which is nothing to sniff at, the spacecraft is worth 1.2 billion. So maybe, just maybe, they might have more invested in making sure that thing doesn't just smash itself to pieces on the ground.
Because he has a better view because he's below it.
You do understand that planes travel in 3D space, yeah? Not only can they be above, they can be below or to the side or fucking upside down. To argue that somehow a car has a better view of anything but the garage of a 2-story house than a fucking airplane demonstrates that you must be a moron of galactic proportions. Which is ironic considering the topic of the video, not gonna lie.
Now, I would have potentially believed the official narrative regarding the chase plane in the space shuttle if it wasn't for the U-2 plane.
You could have believed the obvious and demonstrable fact that they do what they say they do if you weren't so fucking stupid that you can't tell that an airplane is infinitely more maneuverable than a car. I mean, sure, but that doesn't change the fact that that's exactly how it works, or change the fact that you could well be the dumbest person I've ever spoken to. And I talk to myself, like, a lot, and that guy's an idiot. And I'm pretty sure he's crazy too.
The U-2 plane and the chase car being underneath and having the best view possible highlights the absurdity
of everything you say. Yes, we have already established this, for crying out loud. I mean, seriously, what does a morning look like to you? Because if you don't fall out of bed and smash your face into your side table every single day, I'm not sure there's a way to explain someone so goddamn profoundly thick as you, mate. It's like almost impressive.
of the space shuttle having a chase plane. You should have had a chase car.
No, it shouldn't, but I'm pretty sure somewhere out there is a chase car for you. Well, more like a chase ambulance on the hunt for you to take you back to wherever it is they store the criminally insane these days. And yes, I am saying that being dumb should be a crime. Just think what he's doing to the gene pool. Although then again, dumb is not exactly sexy, so maybe it will just solve itself.
You can have a chase car because then you hear the jet engines, because it's a plane that comes into land, a jet plane, not a space glider.
Wait. Your entire argument that the reason they don't use chase cars but instead jet planes isn't that it's because they need to show off or that they are pretending the distance is there, which obviously you didn't know because I am sure you would have made that argument. It's because the people in the cars would have heard the wrong sound. I can't even anymore. You are staggeringly dumb. Because no, they obviously couldn't just pay the drivers or whatever, or explain it away as landing jets, or a million other things. No, they just didn't want some guys to hear the jets. Wow, what a fucking dumbass you are.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the